Well, welcome everybody to the Environment and Transportation Committee. I am, as always, your friendly chairman, Kumar Barve. And I apparently don't have a printed out list of all the bills in front of me, but I do see, well, you know, it's such a run-of-the-mill typical day. Nothing unusual has happened in the Senate or the House. It's like just a walk in the park, isn't it? It's, oh, there it is, okay. Just, you know, nothing untoward. So I see that we have a senator here, our old good friend, Pam Beidel. And so, Pam, we're going to take your bill first because you're here. And then we'll go to whatever other senator manages to come in. And so take it away to our old friend, Senator Beidel.
Thank you, Chair Barbe. It's really nice to see you and see all my friends. I said I won't say old friends, but you said old. So all my old friends from Environment and Transportation. For the record, I'm Pam Beidel representing.
By the way, you have 4 minutes. Okay.
Thank you. Pam Beidel representing District 32, and I'm presenting Senate Bill 501, towing or removal of vehicles from parking lots, placement of signs, regional malls. So what this is about is we all passed a bill last year that said there had to be a towing information sign every 7,500 square feet. That doesn't really work for these big regional malls. They'll end up with towing signs out in the middle of parking lots. It'll be a problem with snow removal maintenance. So what the bill says is it defines regional malls as more than 400,000 square feet and requires signage placement each entrance to the parking areas at the mall. I don't think I have any other witnesses today, but I did have Westfield Mall and
actually, somebody named Charles Parrish is signed up to testify in favor of the bill.
Okay, I didn't know that, but anyway.
Okay, is Mr. Parrish, and we'll listen to him, and then we'll entertain questions. Mr. Parrish,
Okay.
Parrish,
Thank you for your consideration.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, and you've got 2 minutes, sir. Welcome back to the committee.
Good morning. Yeah, good afternoon. I'm sorry. It's great to be in there. I'm starting to learn this now. Probably, but starting to figure this out. Charles Parrish, legislative chairman for Towing Recovery Professionals of Maryland. I also work with Vision Wrecker Service in Baltimore City, Baltimore County. On the state level, we're very much in support. The association and the towers are in support of this. Signage is in these large malls, entrances and exits. Yes, I must. And the light poles, the windstorms, it's become a very hard issue for it, especially with the minimum size of 24 by 30 inches. They're like birds' wings now. Back in the day when they were 12 and 18, it was a lot different. But now that they're 24 by 30, they become like wings out in these parking lots. So we are in favor of this bill as it's written.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for the wonderful sponsor and the person testifying in favor? Well, apparently you've gotten out of the Environment and Transportation Committee unscathed, Pam.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, take care. Say hi to all my friends over there.
I will.
Okay.
Bye.
All righty.
Bye, Pam.
So,
Everybody
okay.
stay safe.
Okay, you too, man. All right, so next up is Senate Bill 661. Is there somebody here to testify on behalf of Senator Patterson? Oh, excuse me, 121, Patterson and Benson. Is there somebody to testify on behalf of that bill?
Hold, I'm letting in a staff member for him. Hold.
Okay, all right, good. And I see
CJ Jackson is a staff member. You can ask for him.
Okay. I think he's still connecting, so.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, you're up there. Okay. I thought it was somebody else. Okay, CJ Jackson. CJ, you've got 4 minutes. Welcome to the Environment and Transportation Committee.
Thank you. Just for clarification, what bill are you on? I'm sorry.
120, Senate Bill 121.
Oh, I'm sorry. Delegate Turner's office is going to do that one. I was going to do Senate Bill 661.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we skip to 661 then, since you're here?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good
Go
afternoon.
right ahead. You've got 4 minutes. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Clay Jackson, Chief of Staff on behalf of Senator Patterson. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce Senate Bill 661. Senate Bill 661 seeks to extend the sunset on this important law with a minor tweak, which has been in effect for some form of over 30 years. The fund assists heat oil tanker owners with cleanup costs and provides funding for the Maryland Department of Maryland Department of Environment's oil pollution programs and staffing. Under current law, a fee of 8 cents per barrel is assessed on the first transfer of oil in the state, with portions of the fee being credited to the oil fund and reimbursement fund. Beginning July 1st of 2021, the 7.75 cents portion of the fee credited to the oil fund is scheduled to decrease to 5 cents, and then 0.25 cents portion of the fee credited to the reimbursement fund is scheduled to decrease completely to 0. This bill proposed to extend the 8 cents per barrel fee by 3 years until June of 2024 to be solely credited to the oil fund. It shall cease the deposits to the reimbursement fund and new applications to this fund for reimbursement on July 1st, 2024, and extend the authorization to pay off the current backlog of reimbursement applications through fiscal year 2029. There were last-minute amendments to this bill, which I read. It originally sought to extend it, the reimbursement, to pay the current backlog of reimbursement from 2026, and the amendment extended it to 2029. And the senator respectfully urges a favorable vote.
Muted. We also have Ellen Valentino is signed up in favor. If you're here with us, Ellen, please join us.
I am here with us.
Okay, you've got 2 minutes, Ellen. Welcome back.
Thank you. I had a computer crash, but I'm back here. Ellen Valentino. I'm here today on behalf of the Mid-Atlantic Petroleum Distributors, and I don't have my files in front of me, but I'm here with you live. Just quickly, as amended, the bill does just take the current law and extend it and tap on a non-codified study. This has been an important fund, been in existence for over 30 years. It's a critical funding mechanism for MDE, and also a funding mechanism for those homeowners that have heat oil tanks that may run into trouble. So with that, I urge the committee to move favorably on the bill. And if you have any questions, please contact me, or I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, well, we will go to questions right now. Any questions for CJ Jackson or Ellen Valentino? I don't see any. Let me just quickly say this one thing, Ellen. Basically, your industry group is the industry group against whom this fee is charged, and so you're completely in support of this because your industry group sees a direct benefit. Is that basically correct?
That is correct.
Good to know. Any further questions?
Sarah Love. Hold on.
Is there, does somebody have a question? Okay, apparently not. All right, so we're going to end the public hearing on Senate Bill 661. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's now go to Senate Bill 121. Is there somebody here from Delegate Turner's office or Delegate Turner to present?
Delegate Turner is held up, so you might want to skip and go back.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chair, if I may, I have that file in front of me. If you want me to go ahead and take a stab at it.
Yeah, please go ahead. Okay. Minutes like last time. Welcome back to the.
Thank you. Again, Clay Jackson, Chief of Staff, filling in on behalf of Senator Obi Patterson. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce Senate Bill 121, crosswalk Bill 51. Senate Bill 121 sets for any new or renewing landfill permits that the local government possesses, and for these facilities to conduct an environmental justice analysis at the expense of the landfill owner. In this report, the analysis would focus on any adverse human health effects or impacts to the individuals who live within 2 miles, any adverse environmental impacts to the land, air, and water resources within a 2-mile radius, and any potential economic impacts to individuals who live within a 2-mile radius, and others. Additionally, the Commission on Environmental Justice and Sustainable Communities requirement to study and make recommendations regarding strategies for increasing state support of local governments and communities in addressing environmental concerns. The Senator wanted to add that it is long overdue that we assess the damages these establishments cause to our communities and to make necessary changes so that we may maintain a healthy way of living in our community. There were amendments adopted for this bill, and they include replacing the word landfill with permitted facilities, and your indulgence, in allowing any local government bodies to deny or have a conditional offer of improvement of an application based on the actual or anticipated environmental or health impacts of these permitted facilities. Again, the Senator urges a favorable vote.
Okay, thank you very much. Testifying also in favor of the bill is Justin Fiore on behalf of MML. There you are. Justin, welcome back to the committee. You've got 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Good afternoon.
Uriel, please reset the clock. There you go.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, again, my name is Justin Fiore, and I'm here on behalf of the Maryland Municipal League in support of Senate Bill 121 as it's amended. I want to thank the sponsor for working with us and others to make this a really good bill. We were actually opposed to it as it was introduced, and now it has our strong support. So we certainly appreciate the new explicit authority that for us to be able to require a statement and analysis of environmental health and public health impacts for these facilities that are in residential locations, and the ability to use that as a determining factor for approval, special conditions to approval or denial. Further, we appreciate the supportive and collaborative role the bill outlines for the Commission on Environmental Justice and Sustainable Communities in relation to local governments. The League is really looking forward to naming a representative to this commission and getting to work on behalf of our shared residents. Thank you again, Mr. Chair. We ask for a favorable report.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions? Delegate Clark has his hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one quick question. I noticed that there's no favorable testimony from MACO. What is MACO's position on this? Does anybody know?
Well, I think the only thing that we do know is that Cecil County is opposed to the bill. I haven't had a chance to read their testimony though.
Okay, and the question to the MML representative, do you foresee that this bill would cause the counties and the municipalities to clash and when they are proposing to do a landfill or something like that? Because it could be 1.5 miles outside of the municipality, as opposed to being right up in it. And there would still be a lot of extra work that would have to go in citing it.
Thank you for the question, Delegate. It's a good one. I worked closely with MACO and the sponsors and the entire Senate committee on this bill, and everybody seemed comfortable with it at the time. I haven't heard from any of our members that they would have this particular concern, but I can certainly approach it with them again and get an answer to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. Delegate Healy has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just really quickly, I saw that you have both unfavorable and favorable testimony in the committee. When did you change your position? What did you put the testimony in before you changed your position?
We had unfavorable testimony, at least on House Bill 51 and on Senate Bill 121 as it was introduced. You should only hopefully have favorable testimony on SB 121 as it's been amended. And if that's a mistake on our end, and I apologize, but we are in favor of the bill after it received its amendments on the Senate side.
And to your understanding, MACO also agrees? They have the same kind of situation. They only have unfavorable testimony written.
Yeah, I can't speak if they've changed a position or not, but my understanding at the time is they were at least dropping their opposition as a result.
Okay.
They could speak to whether or not there's any formal changes beyond that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions from any members of the committee? All right, let's go to the opponent, and that's Pam Casemeyer. Pam, are you with us somewhere? Pam?
We didn't see her in the waiting room.
Oh, well. Well, that's unfortunate for her, I guess. All right, well, we'll just have to read her written testimony in that case. That concludes the public hearing on Senate Bill 121. Let's go to Senate Bill 365. Is anyone here to represent, oh, wait a minute. Is anybody here to represent Senator McCray? But I see a senator here.
Senator West, yeah.
That's right, my good friend, Senator West. So why don't we go straight to Senate Bill 466. Senator West, welcome to the Environment and Transportation Committee.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
And you get 4 minutes, but welcome anyway.
Okay, great. It's great to see you, albeit remotely, and see old friends from the House in the
Yep.
So I'm pleased to introduce Senate Bill 446. This bill embodies one of the recommendations of the Senate President's Advisory Work Group on Equity and Inclusion, on which I sat. The work group issued its report just last month. There's no cross-file in this bill, so I guess I'm going to take at least most of the 4 minutes to explain it to you. Current is as follows. When businesses, institutions, or individuals take actions that are found to be in violation of the state's environmental laws, they typically face a penalty or a fine. For example, in fiscal year 2019, the Department of the Environment initiated nearly 10,000 enforcement actions, resulting in over $5.5 million in administrative or civil penalties. While these monetary penalties may deter future environmental violations, they don't directly address the harm to the state's environment caused by the infractions, because all the money just goes into the state's general fund. All too frequently, the harm to the environment is disproportionately shouldered by the low-income communities, which are largely comprised of racial and ethnic minorities, which is why our group paid attention to this problem. Maryland law currently provides that instead of paying fines or penalties, environmental violators can engage in what are known as supplemental environmental projects, or SEPs. A SEP is an environmentally beneficial project that a defendant subject to an enforcement action voluntarily agrees to undertake as part of a settlement of the action, but which the defendant is otherwise not legally required to perform. Examples of SEPs include planting trees in the neighborhood where the violation occurred, providing funding for environmental projects, installing high-performance air filtration systems in schools, and all sorts of other things. In 2019, the Department of the Environment entered into 3 SEPs with a total value of over $3.5 million. This bill requires the Department of the Environment to create and maintain a database of SEPs, which a person that commits a violation of state environmental law may choose to undertake. In compiling its list of SEPs, the Department of the Environment is required to solicit input from communities in the state that have been most impacted by environmental justice issues. The bill further requires that before a violator is authorized to undertake a SEP, MDE must ensure that the scope and cost of the project is commensurate with the scope and cost of the violation. This bill makes good sense because it ensures that SEP dollars will be spent directly on environmental projects and will achieve improvements to the state's environment that could not be accomplished by just monetary fines or penalties. Now, in recent weeks, I've had several conversations with Secretary Grumble. He is really enthusiastic about the whole concept of SEPs. One problem has been in the past that they've had policies that require that the SEP cost be roughly 3 times the cost of the penalty. He said this has deterred violators from engaging in SEPs because the penalty is so much cheaper. So he has submitted some amendments. I think they've been provided to your committee staff. And the most salient part of the amendments that I was able to discern from reading them is that the cost is sufficient to allow the department and the alleged violator to reach a settlement. In other words, you don't have to have 3 times the cost. Maybe you want to make sure the cost of the SEP is higher than the penalty, but maybe not that much higher in order to induce the violator to enter into the SEP agreement. So I accept the Secretary's amendments as friendly amendments, and with those amendments would urge the committee to grant this bill a favorable vote.
Okay, are there any questions? And yes, now Ben Grumbles has his facial expression. So, okay, any questions? I see that Delegate Healy has her hand up.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A question about the bill. Are these projects targeted to the people who were damaged by the environmental infractions?
Yes, I think the amendment tries to make that even more clear, but the bill provides that the work has to be done, if possible, in environmentally damaged communities that are populated by low-income racial and ethnic minorities. So the focus is to try to do these projects in the communities that have been most adversely affected deleterious environmental conduct by the violators.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions for the sponsor? Nobody's signed up in opposition. So Chris,
That's good to hear.
you have made it out of my committee unscathed. So
Great.
Good luck to you the rest of the day. You guys might need it. I don't know.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, that ends the public hearing on Senate Bill 446. Let's go back to Senate Bill 365. Is there anyone here from Senator McCrae's office to represent for him?
Okay, Senator McCrae is finishing up in judiciary, so he should be here soon.
Okay, Pam, you missed the public hearing. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to tell us why you didn't like Bill 121, I think, but only 30 seconds. Go.
Mr. Chairman, the first 10 seconds is a big thank you, and thank you to the committee for accommodating me. I've been having connection problems all day and anyway, sorry. The big concern I think we have with 121 is this applies to projects that may have been in existence before it was even zoned residential. Sometimes the zoning comes around the facilities and not in reverse. On top of which it includes not only landfills, but air permits and water permits. There are so many businesses that require air permits, including restaurants, gas stations, other kinds of things may need water permits. So there's a significant amount of implications in the new amended language that really hasn't been discussed because that's it.
Okay, well, I'm not going to take questions now, but there'll be a work session and you'll of course be invited to that and you can elaborate at length.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, is Senator McCrae here yet? Trish?
Yeah, he just texted me.
Okay, what did he say?
Says he'll be right here.
Okay, because otherwise I'd have to go to Senator Rosepep if he has.
Who's also not in the meeting.
Okay, we'll wait for Corey to show up. He is, after all, a former member of the committee. I'll cut him a break in this case. I will say, though, that I think I'm going to send a bottle of hairspray to Delegate Stewart's office because he's constantly adjusting his hair. So
I really desperately need it. That or a haircut, Mr. Chairman. Anything you could help to defray the cost of either would be great.
a man in need of a subsidy. Okay. Who is it?
Typical liberal.
Just give Finn a pair of scissors. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, that's true.
Vaughn, just give it a few years. You may not need to get it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bay Restoration Fund has a grant for that.
Oh, but hey, that's an
Whoa,
idea.
that's a good one.
Whoa. We'll make you regret saying that. That'll go on Jay's spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'm adding that to my 2022 bill list.
Mr. Chairman, I need an eraser if you have a spare one down there. I got to make some corrections.
Okay. Boy.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move unfavorable so we can move on.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that.
Where's my second? Oh, Weibel's quiet.
No.
You know I'll second Alvin Siliberti.
Well, okay. So after the public hearing, Trish, I guess we'll take a 10-minute break and then go to our voting session, correct? That's the plan? Trish?
I'm sorry, I was locating the other senators.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
could we just, after
We'll
we
break.
finish, take a 10-minute break to get their paperwork together and then come back in on the voting link Zoom?
Okay, that's what we'll do after the public hearing. And I see that.
Mr. Chairman, would that be the 4 o'clock Zoom?
Yes, it would be.
Yes, it would be the one that's on your, as a 4 o'clock. We just use that time as a placeholder. Trish will update it.
Okay, I have Senator Rosapep. Please.
All right, we're going to go to Senator Rosapep then, and I believe that here. Senator, welcome to the committee. This is House Senate Bill 737. So you've got 4 minutes. Welcome to the committee.
He's on mute.
Jim?
Yeah. Okay, you can see me. Now you can hear me too. Thank you very much. My apologies.
You've got 4 minutes, Senator, and welcome to the committee.
Thank you very, very much. This is a long bill with a lot of details, but the headline is it's a simple concept and it has unanimous support in the Senate. It had widespread support from folks in the environmental community, from the environmental investment community. All the amendments that the state agency wanted are adopted, and it has no opposition. So I just want to start with that. Basically, the idea is there has developed a market worldwide of private investment in conservation and in the environment. And states are competing to get that investment. And basically, what this bill does is it changes in small ways, but in a lot of places, our state law and policies to attract that investment. The simple one for me is that it incentivizes pay for performance. So instead of just giving people money to clean something up, people only get the money when they've actually cleaned it up. that's essentially what the bill does, with lots of technical details. A coalition led by former Secretary of Natural Resources John Griffin worked over the last year with all the stakeholders to put this bill together. It did not have a cross file, for which I apologize. My suggestion would be, I'm happy to take any general questions on it, but I would encourage the committee, if you can, if you would consider it, look at it in subcommittee, get the experts in a little work group who can answer all the detailed questions about it, because I assure you I cannot.
Well, I understand that Secretary Grumbles is here and he'd like to testify, and we welcome him back to the committee. He's a good friend of the committee. Ben.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Senator Roosevelt, for leading the charge on getting this important legislation out and also through the Senate. This is, Mr. Chairman, this is a very important peek into the future of conservation finance in a comprehensive way: land, water, green infrastructure, blue infrastructure. Basically what it's doing is, as the senator said about his bill, is it's providing a way to supplement public funding and polluter payments with private sector investments for land, natural resources, and water quality improvements. We're very supportive of it. The governor's Bay cabinet has been briefed on the bill several times. The state agencies are all familiar with the legislation. To some extent, we're already doing pay for performance. But what this bill does is it lays out a broad and non-controversial vision for increased assistance to meet our environmental ambition for the future. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. We did have a very, the vice chair and I had a very brief introduction to this today. John Griffith,
good.
A number of people contacted us, and I have to admit that I've spent my entire life in accounting and finance, and I'd never heard of this vehicle, but it's very interesting. Any questions for the sponsor or for Secretary Grumbles? Okay, well, you know what? We're going to do exactly what you suggest, Jim. We're going to have the after we get done with the climate solutions bill, we're going to put this in the environment subcommittee and have them work through the details with the people that you suggest, and we'll see what we can do with this, hopefully.
Thank you very, very much.
Not at all. Okay, that ends the public hearing on Senate Bill 737. I understand that Senator McCray is now with us. Corey, you've got 365 and 616. Which one do you want to do first?
Whatever you want to do first, because I'm by myself.
Okay, 365. Let's start with that.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, and members of the committee, Corey McCray, Senator for the 45th Legislative District. I come to you on behalf of Senate Bill 365. We all know that we have food desert issues in the city of Baltimore, but not just the city, across the state of Maryland. We have programs that currently exist, DHCD, that helps to address some of these issues. It's called NeighborWorks. What NeighborWorks does is it helps for low interest loans or grants in reference to capital programs. What this bill does expands that to operating opportunities. So not just capital, but operating opportunities. It also increases the threshold up to $100,000. Mr. Chairman, what the goal is from this is to leverage our supermarkets, our healthy food opportunities in our respective districts, because when they get these low interest loans or these grant opportunities, we also hold them by to say that they have a certain stipulation that aid will have to give the money back if they were to move out of the respective area. We know that this is a big issue, and I would just ask ENT to move favorable on Senate Bill 365, if that is the pleasure of the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. I see that Robin Clark is also signed up in favor. We'll listen to her and then we'll entertain any questions. Robin, are you with us? Robin Clark with Chesapeake Bay Foundation.
We didn't have her in the waiting room.
Okay, any questions for Senator McCray from the committee? No? Oh yeah, Jerry Clark has a question. You're muted, Jerry.
Good to see you, Senator. One quick question. You said some of this was grant money and there was stipulations on it if they were to move out of the community. How does it work if they go in and make the best case effort to try to be successful and survive, and they use the grant money and the loan money, and ultimately financially it just won't work, and they just keep hemorrhaging money? Is there something in there that gives these people a little relief for taking the risk of going in there, even with the grant money and stuff?
Just like our process, there's always defaults in reference to when someone couldn't pay it back. Let's just say if it's a legislative bond, they would have to get our approval and go before Board of Public Works. So they have a process in reference to like waiving that opportunity would it happen. But this is the carrot. So you have the stick and you have the carrot. This is one of the opportunities that we present as a carrot. This is not just from that standpoint. We have facade grants that operate in the same manner with a lot of our Main Street programs, but this tools and trying to expand on that tool, because what the supermarkets did, and I didn't do my due diligence I just thought that it would be judicious of me not to have a whole bunch of panel members before ENT, but I had a supermarket when I presented in front of EHE. I had the economic development team for the BDC that also, and I had the Maryland retailers. So I had a very diverse group, and that could explain how this is beneficial for our supermarkets and healthy food options to be able to participate.
Did the supermarkets and stuff that you were able to get interested, are they regional or are they multi-state chains? Or
so it's a Maryland-based company. I had Mr. Klein from ShopRite. He has a number of supermarkets, but he has one in Baltimore. Pretty cool. He talked about the challenges that he also have, and he talked about the opportunities that were there. And when I say that he held him hostage for about 20 minutes on this very simple bill, talking about baskets and how much that it takes, and how the different opportunities that come from the geographic area that you are in, and how it takes, how much they're trying to get in a basket, how much they get in a basket in urban jurisdictions versus suburban jurisdictions and things of that nature. The committee was very in awe about it and could not stop asking him questions. I should have brought him along.
Thank you very much. You've answered my questions. Thank you.
Actually, his testimony, I don't know if he provided written testimony to the Senate committee. We don't have it, but if he has written testimony, you might want to have him enter that, send it to Trish, and we'll put it in the record. Because
definitely will. Yes, sir. Any
other questions for, and is Robin Clark with us yet? Okay, well, that ends the public hearing on Senate Bill 365. Let's go to Senate Bill, the next bill you have, 616, Senator McCray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, McCray, I tell you, Mr. Chair, I learned a lot under your tutelage, but most importantly on ENT. So one of the things I learned was about a soil conservation district, and I realized that they were everywhere but Baltimore City. So there are about 24 soil conservation districts. The city is the only one that didn't have one. When I did the research, this was established back in like the 70s, Mr. Chair, like not anything recent. It's never been taken a look at before. But what happens, because the city doesn't have one, we have these urban farmers, which is just popping up everywhere. This is a big deal in our local jurisdictions at this point. But they have to go to get technical assistance from our adjacent jurisdictions because of what we don't have. So they go to our neighboring counties, Baltimore County, Howard County, to get the assistance that they should be getting in Baltimore City around this issue. As it grows, we need to make sure as a city are moving in the direction where we're helpful for our constituents. This is enabling language, so this has to go before our Baltimore City Council. I think that it's also important to know that this was unanimously agreed upon by the Baltimore City House delegation and the Baltimore City Senate delegation.
Well, it's good to see that Senator McCray's sucking up to the chairman's skills have not diminished with his transfer to the Senate. So is signed up in favor of the bill, Camera Thomas Wilhite. Camera, are you with us? Well, okay, we'll go straight to questions. Maybe she'll pop up. Delegate Jacobs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, it's good to see you on this screen. I usually see you on Fox in the morning, but good to see you on this screen.
Same here, brother.
My question is, I'm glad to see the expansion in urban farming, but can you give me an idea of the size of these areas?
I want to
in
say probably,
Baltimore?
yep. So we have one, and this is how I got to learn about soil conservation districts, Delegate Jacobs. So we have a young lady, her name is Atia Wells. She has an urban farm right there in Northeast Baltimore. I want to say she has about 2 acres of land on that piece, but there were a number of environmental things that she had to do in order to conform to the guidelines in reference to urban farming, and she had to go to the neighbor jurisdiction in order to do that.
So is that like a normal size for urban farms?
I think they're a lot smaller, but this is just one that I was real familiar with, and the reason why I brought this bill forward.
All right, thank you very much.
And keep in mind, I'm not a farmer or urban farmer.
Okay. Delegate Holmes, and then Healy in that order.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Corey, it's good to see you.
Always good.
Do you recall what I said to you about the change in my subcommittee when you left? If you do, don't repeat it. I've got a question in terms of land development. I was not aware that Baltimore City did not have a soil conservation district. In land development, you have to submit a sediment and erosion control plan to the soil conservation district. What happens? I haven't done a land development project in the city at all, ever. What happens now? Who reviews that sediment control plan for the city now for anything?
Our adjacent jurisdictions, so Howard County, Baltimore County, and things of that, the other soil conservation districts do.
So who decides where it goes?
The technical pieces, yeah.
Okay, I got it. Just so curious. I do appreciate it. Good seeing you again, man.
Always good.
Okay, Ann. You're muted, Ann.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Corey, it's great to see you, and I'm so happy that you're back before us again. I don't know if you knew that I was the author of the original bill for the tax credit for urban agriculture, and it's a local tax credit against the property tax, and Baltimore City was the first jurisdiction to really go after and use it to help redevelop some of those vacant lots. I'm so pleased to see that it's thriving, and I'm happy to be able to support something like this. This is a great move forward.
Thank you.
So
that is so. That is so.
Okay. Any further questions for
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Would I be able to give a closing comment for my other city delegates that may have just joined your committee?
Yeah, sure.
You know what? I tell you, as a person that's born and raised in the city, I never found out so much about cow nose raised, chicken, Conowingo Dam, and so much more until I joined ENT.
Riparian rights. It's all about riparian rights.
Right, riparian rights. Yeah, God, that's something I wish I'd never heard about. Anyway, ENT, the home of greatness. Home of greatness. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. You all have a blessed day.
Okay, that ends the public hearings for today. And apparently, am I going to JPR? Is that what you're here for? Okay, so we will reconvene as for a voting session when Trish, at 2:25?
Sure. Do you want to wait until you're finished, or?
Yeah, well, let's set it for 2:25. I don't think I'll be that. If I'm not here, then do not start without me.
Okay, yeah, the link was resent to everybody just now.
Okay, take care. I'm going to leave and go to JPR and come back. See you guys in 10 minutes.